Welcome back, fiber friends. Today, as you can clearly see, we're going to be doing an unboxing, and we are going to be unboxing some super rare wool. Quite possibly one of the rarest whole fleeces that I have gotten my hands on thus far in my spinning career. In this lovely little box, we have a Santa Cruz Island sheep fleece. If you've been on this channel for a while, you know that this is like something that I've been wanting to get, that I've been coveting for a while. I think that Santa Cruz Island sheep are insanely magical. They have some really incredible wool, and I think it's absolutely tragic that there are so few of them. So why don't we unbox this fleece? I can show it to you guys, talk a little bit about what my plans might be for it. However, I'll be totally honest, I have not made any solid decisions. I'm just really excited to unbox this fleece. I've been waiting for the time to unbox it with you guys, so I've actually had it for a few days now, and I've just been waiting and waiting and waiting. So let's bust this bad boy open, and I can tell you guys a little bit more about what I know about the Santa Cruz Island sheep. For the sake of being able to open the box, like, without having to cover the label, I did just pre-cover it with some tape so I could just, like, chat with you guys. So, Santa Cruz Island sheep. If you look in the Fleece and Fiber source book, there's a really good description of kind of their whole history. So, what we know about them is that they're super small sheep, right? This fleece, I think, is a little over 2 pounds. And they're very small, however, they have incredibly fine fibers. So we don't know exactly how the sheep got on Santa Cruz Island. And Santa Cruz Island is a small island off the coast of California. We're not really sure exactly how they got there, but they were there, and then essentially the flock was abandoned, mostly abandoned, and those sheep became semi-feral. However, their base genes, from what we can guess, are probably linked to merinos or rambouillet. So a lot of feral / primitive sheep tend to have double-coated, not all of them. I'm making grand generalizations here, so please don't come for me in the comments. Obviously, I know there are other fibers that are very soft and technically primitive or feral, like the Manx Locked-in, but there aren't a ton of them. In general, a lot of feral and primitive breeds tend to be double-coated or lean a little bit coarser, right? At least a medium coat in a lot of cases. These guys are special because they're extremely fine. If you read the Fleece and Fiber source book, little description, they say that it is quite possibly one of the softest and most handleable and delightful spinners fleeces they have ever put their hands on. They really sing this sheep's praises in the Fleece and Fiber source book, which is part of the reason that I really wanted to get my hands on this fleece. It's 3 pounds 4 ounces. Oh my gosh, she definitely told me it was only 2 pounds, and she definitely only charged me for 2 pounds. So I did get this from Blue Oak Canyon Ranch. If that's not exactly what it is, I'm gonna put their details on the screen. I never like to gatekeep the farms because I always want you guys to be able to go and sell out these farms, frankly, if you have the opportunity. Oh, on the top, there's even a little carded note. Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, I think it's a hand-drawn card, and it's a llama or alpaca with little sheep. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Thank you so much for your purchase. It helps us preserve this wonderful breed of sheep. It really is such a wonderful breed of sheep, guys. I'm so excited. It's so soft. It's so soft. So this fleece it's white, but it is dirty because they are sheep that are little and they do get into things. However, I think it's going to be worth every bath I have to give it. So here's this bad boy getting pulled out. I know there are people who would say this is really gross, that I'm just going to put it in my face, but it's so soft, and it's very springy and kind of spongy, and that's what I remember about the one sample that I got to handle. This is about, a 2.5 inch staple length. However, because it is a feral breed, because they are, a little bit more, again, primitive is the wrong word, but they were feral for a number of years. Sometimes the fleece staple length does vary, especially because these sheep, some of them still rue. So I think even just putting a hand on some of this fiber and taking a look at it, I can almost see portions of it where it reminds me of when your dog sheds if you have a double coated dog like I do, when it sheds that undercoat, and you know how sometimes little tufts of it work its way to the top. There are certain little pieces in this fleece where I feel some of the fiber, there's even shorter, finer fiber at the bottom, but I don't think it's a break in the fleece. I really don't. At least, I don't know, maybe I'll change my opinion when I start working with this. However, I'm so happy with this fleece. I'm so happy with this fleece. I'm not going to totally take it out. Maybe I'll find somewhere to unravel this and show you guys. But yeah, so these sheep, I don't even think I finished this sheep's story. So they were on an island, Santa Cruz Island, and the sheep eventually kind of got for the most part, abandoned. And then that island was sold to the National Nature Conservancy, or maybe just like a local nature, or what's it called, a state nature facility or something like that. And the thing about sheep is that people have this misconception that sheep are very, very sensitive. And while I do think that's true for a lot of like club lambs and certain meat breeds, I think that when it comes to heritage breeds and breeds that are primitive or feral, they can thrive under incredible circumstances, and so they were basically considered a pest. I won't use the word invasive because that's not the correct word to use in this case, but they were doing the kind of damage, or the Nature Conservancy felt they were doing the kind of damage to the ecosystem that they could almost be put on the same level. And so there was an order to essentially, like, unalive them on site. Now, the Livestock Conservancy, I actually recently watched, there's video of the Livestock Conservancy, old footage of the Livestock Conservancy, like, flying Santa Cruz Island sheep off of the island to preserve this sheep breed, and I think that that's amazing that they made the effort to preserve some of them. When the Fleece and Fiber Sourcebook was written, there were estimated to be fewer than 150 Santa Cruz Island sheep. I do think that there are a few more at this point. However, they are still critically endangered, which does mean that worldwide there are less than 500 of them, which is not very many sheep. Which is why this sheep fleece is so, so special. If you're a huge sheep nerd like me, you'll appreciate this fun fact, and I do just want to read it out from the Fleece and Fiber Sourcebook because I think it's important. It says, "We pulled a lock of our white sample and sent it off to the lab. The results came back with an average micron count of 23.2 and a comfort factor of 97.3%, which essentially means that all of the fibers were 30 microns or less. This is firmly in the realm of next to skin soft. Some of the fibers in the array even measured as fine as 14 microns. And then on top of it, there's a little photo here, and they like to show the elasticity of some yarns, and next to it, while they have it all stretched out, it literally says elasticity beyond our ability to demonstrate. And that is why I truly think that although I am not a sock knitter, I think that much like a like down type wool, and due to like a down type wool's elasticity, I think that this could be a really good sock wool. I don't know, maybe it's a little too soft for that. I can't wait to do some experiments. I also want to point out that for all of you in the comments who are going to be like, dang, that's a dirty fleece, because I know a lot of the times, like, I feel like in the past year, I've definitely invested a little bit more money in like coated fleeces and things like that. However, I am somebody who is I firmly believe like sheep live outside, and some sheep fleeces, it is worth dealing with the dirt and the VM. But if you look at the white sample that they have, look at how bright white it is up here, and then look at it down here and how dirty it is. That's exactly how dirty my fleece is. I have no fear that I'm going to be able to get this sucker clean. I am going to wait until I have more unicorn power scour in my possession to actually clean this fleece, because it's not exceptionally heavy. I feel fairly comfortable just keeping it inside, even though it is dirty, and I normally have pretty strict rules against keeping like dirty fleeces in with all of my other clean fleeces. However, I think that's what I'm gonna do, just because I want it safe and sound in here. All right, here is the fleece all laid out. I actually did a pretty good job unrolling it. I think it's sometimes just easier with smaller sheep because you can really see. And this is the very back end of the sheep on this side. I can tell because of the types of gross stuff that is on this end versus up here, which is like super soft and cushy and more pristine fiber. Here's a much better example of the actual fiber of a lock. That sweet, sweet bounce. Oh, look at that. Look at that crimp in there too. As you can see, the top of the fiber is very dirty, but this base here is beautiful, beautiful pure white. And I just pulled it from over here, this section here, but I think a lot of this is going to be very usable. I do think I'm gonna have to skirt a little bit off this back end here. I think if I like look really closely, you can kind of see, I think more like this piece here. This is gonna need to get skirted. And obviously I'm gonna wash my hands after this, but I'm gonna roll this bad boy back up and bring it inside. I totally forgot to film an outro for this video. I'm about to head into the gym, but I want to post this for you guys. So thank you so much for watching my unboxing video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Maybe you too will go and buy a Santa Cruz Island sheep fleece for yourself. If you like this, don't forget to like the video, leave a little comment below. Don't forget to subscribe if you aren't already and you want to see more woolly shenanigans. That's literally all I do here, just woolly shenanigans. And if you have suggestions for things you want to see, don't forget to leave them below. I am planning on doing some crochet and spinning tutorials all through January, so I'm very open to suggestions right now.